Bom dia, Portugal!
In Portugal, there's a YouTube show full of fun facts you need to know. Carl rings the bell and the members show to the GMP morning show. Featured guests will come and they will blow your mind. The audience will do so in kind. The little vanity mixed with some insanity on the morning show with GMP.
Good morning, Portugal, and I'd like to welcome you to another fantastic day.
Hey, Gumpers.
Hola, bon dia, alegria, Munson here with Good Morning Portugal show, live stream and podcast, complete with cat mug. Yes, thank you, Mrs. Duck. The final indignity and my meow meow cup after all the things I've been saying about cats this week. And look, my cat t-shirt as well. All because, well, partly because, and in a great tribute to our dear friend, Savvy Cat Ana Caramujo, who's joining us live now because she needs to get to bed. Let's get her on the show now. I think it's 1 o'clock in the morning in California. Savvy Cat! Here she is. How are you?
Hello, good morning on that side of the Atlantic. It's definitely 1 in the morning here in California.
Really?
And it is the first hour after the 4th of July.
Amazing. How is it being there and how was it celebrating the 4th of July, Anna? Welcome to the show from the other side of the Atlantic.
It was honestly a bit improvised because I just arrived in this area on like Monday and I was like organizing the networking and the plans that I want to do in the next few weeks. And 4th of July wasn't really on my plans. So I just kind of went to the nearest town to see what was happening. And that happened to be Santa Clara. And there was this party going on with some concerts and some food trucks. And we also got to see the fireworks in a park called Great America. Of course, it had to be called Great America.
Great America Park. Fantastic. So that's where you celebrated it. And how was it? I mean, I'm guessing that's your first Independence Day celebration, at least in America.
Yes, I was just commenting. I saw less people wearing flags than I thought. I would say it was like 1 out of 10.
Okay, all right. Very restrained for our American friends. And generally, how's it going for you over there?
It's been quite interesting. There's been quite a few culture shocks, as you may have explained. Yeah. Well, honestly, one of the first ones was when I arrived at the airport. And you know how in Europe you pick up your bags in the bag claim area and then exit the passenger area to meet up or to go outside?
Mm-hmm.
Well, here in America, apparently, the baggage claim area is in a public area, so anyone can just go and grab your bag.
Really?
Which completely mind-blew me because it's America and everyone likes to sue everyone and they are all about security. And
yes.
Why?
Well, maybe they don't want the responsibility. Okay, look, there's your bag. You're on your own now.
I don't know. I don't know what the logic is there, but I was quite surprised with it. So that was the first thing that I really didn't think about. But there's just a number of things that you just realize when you are living here, because I've been working with Americans for over 3 years now. And I would think that I was pretty used to hearing them and expecting a lot of things, but there are so many things that I still go like, oh.
Really? Well, I suppose, yeah. I mean, everything's been turned around, hasn't it? You're used to welcoming the foreigners into Portugal, and now you are the foreigner in America. So that's really turned the tables, hasn't it? Any other culture shocks then?
There is no such thing as low-cost flights. So the flights between states are like $150 to $350, which isn't too bad, but I mean, low cost would be nice. And they ask you for ID to enter any bar, like no matter the age.
Yeah. You
Because,
can take it as a
in
compliment.
Europe, you are used that they just care about your ID if you look like you're under 18.
Yes.
And there's like, you cannot enter without ID, not even the picture. It has to be the physical ID. So I actually had to go back to the hotel to get my passport. Otherwise, I couldn't have entered bars.
It's amazing, isn't it? I had that. I mean, I think I was possibly 30, and I thought, oh, this is really great. I was quite flattered that somebody was asking me for my ID, and it's just standard practice routine, isn't it? It's not because you look young.
Yeah, I was like, do I look under 21?
Yeah, sorry about that. Of course you do. Of course you do. But yeah, I think they're just checking as a matter of course. Anything else then? What else has occurred to you? I mean, you haven't been there that long, have you, to be fair?
No, I've arrived last week. It was about a week. I arrived last Wednesday, so I'm here like a week and a day.
Yeah.
So it's still pretty early. I know there was the things that I was already expecting, like the cost of life and the health insurance thing, but it's still different to see it here. I'm still constantly mind blown by how expensive everything is. And I've been talking a lot to the Uber people, and they are one of the ladies. I mean, people tell me she probably was hustling a lot, but she told me she made $8,000 per month on Uber. So like,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
And they say that in order to live comfortably here in this area, you have to make at least $10,000 a month.
Amazing, isn't it? That's quite.
Imagine that in Portugal.
Well, yeah,
Imagine
absolutely.
living with that in Portugal.
Well, no. To be fair, Anna, the ex-prime minister is leading the way. He has set the bar high and an example to the rest of us here. He's got himself a new €30,000 a month job with the European Union. So
True.
it is possible, but it's not most people. It's not most people's
Yeah,
experience. And that, I mean,
not at all.
the idea of that, of having to earn that much before you break even, it's like thinking, well, you've got to work until Friday afternoon at 4 o'clock and that's the government and everyone else paid before you make any money for yourself. In the uber capitalistic society of America, it's quite incredible. So that's something, is it? How are you finding the food?
Honestly, so far I wasn't impressed with it.
Oh my goodness. Okay.
So,
You are known for your
but
frank and forthright views. There's one.
in their defense, I have not been going to any fancy places. I've been going to pretty run-to-the-mill places. Like I ate at the zoo, I ate at the hotel, I went to a few pubs and chain restaurants. I haven't gone to any fancy place yet. And
Right.
also, I'm kind of afraid to go to any fancy place because I don't want to see the bill at the end.
No, true. But aren't you afraid to eat at the zoo as well? I mean, God knows what's in the sausages at the zoo.
I think it's probably good because if anything improper was there, they have been sued. They would
Okay,
have
yeah,
been
yeah, yeah.
sued.
Fair enough. There's always that. There's always that. Now we've got a few Americans joining us, of course, in our community here.
Yeah, but
Have you got any questions for them?
just today I went to a food truck on this 4th of July party here in Santa Clara, and I paid, I don't know if it was $16 or $18 for a sushi roll, like
You
this
have
one, like
got to be
6
kidding.
pieces of sushi. Yes, I'm like, holy. And it wasn't
Holy.
even a good sushi roll. It was just
Oh,
a cheap
insult
one.
to
So
injury. Okay, all right. Well, so there's all our complaints about America. What are you loving about being in the land of the free and the brave?
the entrepreneurship spirit and
Yes.
the business savviness that they have here. I mean,
Yep.
for me, that's the best part. And
Yeah.
everyone is honestly very nice and very easy to talk to. I mean, I think it will be pretty easy to network because how willing and helpful people tend to be.
Mm.
I mean, today, because I'm staying at a house, but my host is not living here right now. So I'm kind of on my own. And I went to this 4th of July thing was also a networking event, which was kind of an improvised one, to be honest. Only like 6 people showed up. But still, it's everyone was super helpful and it's super easy to talk to. And they even drove me kind of halfway because it would be so hard to get an Uber in the middle of chaos of everyone leaving from the fireworks.
Nice.
So people just have been super welcoming.
That's lovely to know. And you're in California. Will you be staying in California for your whole stay there, or are you visiting other parts of America?
No, I will be probably next month when we have our call. I will be somewhere else. I'm not sure where yet because I'm still planning my trips, but I'll be leaving on the 20th for at least 2 weeks, and I'm probably going to spend those 2 weeks in different cities.
Yep.
And I'm still organizing that, so I'm not sure in which city I'll be. But I may still be in California, maybe like in Las Vegas or something. But I'm also considering Portland and Phoenix and Los Angeles, so there's options.
Great. Okay. Well, you're already being invited back to Portugal. You should come to my networking event next time in Portugal.
Sure.
Stephen. Oh, well, I'm joining him on Tuesday evening, I think, Stephen. Feel free to put the details in the chat. Marcus, I think here this morning, PT Country Bear, we left almost 5 years ago and don't miss it. And yes, the hustle culture and can-do attitude can be intoxicating. But remember, it exists because people would starve otherwise. What a sobering reminder about the context of the entrepreneurial spirit in the States. Is there anything you want to know from our American friends here who are watching, Anna? Because,
I guess I would love to hear some recommendations about good places to network or any like companies that organize that sort of events. That's kind of what I'm focusing on right now. Okay. I've been looking online, like on Meetup, and that other sites that does like this kind of events thing. And of course, I've been asking everyone that listens to me. So I guess I'll ask here too.
Yeah, excellent. Okay, so the purpose of your mission is presumably to reach out in the States.
Yes. So most of the goal here is exactly visibility and have a more direct connection with US customers.
Yes.
And a more direct reach. So that's what I'm here for, basically, to make myself be heard.
Okay, and apparently to check out Bigger Pockets. I mean,
I already work with Americans, so it's not really about Bigger Pockets. It's just about bigger, more direct connection, really.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, it's like, the music business. It's always the big market to conquer has always been the United States. It's the I guess the spirit.
It's one of the biggest, if not the biggest, economy in the world. I think California, as a location, is one of the biggest economies in the world.
Yeah, amazing, isn't it? So to get a little piece of that and to connect with a little piece of that is a very good strategy. And we'll do all we can to help you from this side. And I hope you'll be checking in with us as your journey and as your adventure there unfolds. Apparently, Bigger Pockets. That wasn't a suspicion about your motives. That is actually a real estate company. No, says Stephen.
Okay,
it's a real estate company in the US. Great to meet.
Very misleading. And that's another thing, actually, I've been seeing here is the names. Like, some of the names are just, I don't know, like Bigger Pockets. You would never call a company that here in Europe, I think.
Probably not. If it was called Bigger Pockets in England, it would be because it's a shop that like converts your trousers for the aspiring entrepreneur. Here, some bigger pockets. You haven't got much money yet, but when you have,
but it's definitely memorable, though.
Yes, your pockets will be ready when you're rich. It's interesting for me, says James. Incidentally, his new Old Guy in Europe video is out today, episode 4. Whenever I have spoken with the Portuguese about the cost of living in California and the size of the country, it's almost like they just don't believe me, even when I make quantitative comparisons. Can you relate to that?
Yes, because I've heard my clients talk about it, and I'm like, wow. But then it's completely different to actually be here and, paying for things. It's like, damn.
Yeah, well, for sure. So yeah, James, absolutely right there. And Marcus, LinkedIn. Okay, I'm sure you're on LinkedIn already, very popular in the US. But I've been out of that circle.
I do have to keep my profile more updated because honestly, I don't use it a lot. So I need to be using it more.
Yeah, fair enough. So get that dusted down for use in the United States. before you go, then, I really appreciate you staying up late for us. Thank you very much, and I'm with the big up for that. Is there anything we can do to keep the fires burning over this side for you? Which is probably not the best choice of metaphors here in Portugal.
Yes, because you know how for like 3 months now I've been saying I will be getting a new website.
Oh yes,
I have been promised that my website will be ready somewhat until the end of the day today, which I
no
hope
way.
is the promise kept. And even worse, our website hasn't been working since last Friday. That was the last deadline I gave to the company that is developing the website.
Right.
But after some threatening, they have promised that it will be ready today, and I really hope that's the case.
Yep.
So I would be extremely grateful to anyone who is willing to go there and see things up, give some feedback. And if you find any bugs or anything that doesn't work, let us know, because you know these things, when they launch, they're never perfect, especially when it's been the project as dragged on as this one was.
Okay, it sounds like you've suffered and struggled with
I
this.
suffered.
Of
I
course, we will check
suffered.
that for you. I mean, the other thing we could do, of course, now you're in litigation culture. You know, James is a very good actor. We could get him to ring your web company up with his American accent. Say, I'm representing my client, Ana Caramujo. I'm a top lawyer, and you will be sued if this website's not ready. So we could try that as well if you want. He doesn't. I don't think he actually talks like that. I'm probably no
No, I
lawyers.
actually did get to the point where I got my lawyer involved because it was getting pretty
Seriously?
ridiculous.
What
So,
a
in
shame.
that sense, the whole suing culture in the US is positive in the sense that it creates a lot of accountability. Like, if people don't do things properly, they will have consequences, often
Yes.
exaggerated consequences sometimes.
Yeah.
But sometimes that's better than no consequences at all. That is often what happens in Portugal.
Very
So
interesting. Yes.
to
Well,
to to give you an idea, this whole website thing, I started talking to the developing company in like October last year. They were supposed to start developing in November. Things got delayed. I only paid in December. They were promising to like mid-February to have a website. We are in July.
my goodness. Well, good luck with that. So it's going to be published on this very day. So
I
take a
do
look at
hope
that.
so. And at
You,
least
yeah, okay.
that
Fingers.
was what
Okay,
I
yeah.
was promised.
Fingers crossed then for the 5th of an Independence Day, second Independence Day, independent from your website company, hopefully. Although you'll be in a long-term relationship with them, and hopefully that relationship will improve. Did you hear the news? This is good stuff. Mrs. M, the banging on the desk you can hear, and the person crawling behind me on all fours is Mrs. M, who's going to be joining us in just a moment. All right. And that is because there have been rumors, Anna, that I am actually living, because Mrs. M hasn't been seen for ages. People think I'm living in my mum's basement doing the Good Morning Portugal show, having been kicked out of our family home. It's not true, unless she's an AI generated character. We'll find out in just a moment. But the
Is your mom
NHR
in Portugal though?
no, I had to go back to London. I mean, people are saying I had to go back to London. Right. The NHR news. Did you see that? Because this is going to be useful to you with your networking and attracting people to Portugal. The NHR is likely to be brought back for professionals. Did you hear that? It was a news released yesterday.
Yeah, I do hope that was actually something that back when the elections happened, one of my agents had some inside contacts on the parties, the small parties that belong to the coalition,
Yeah.
and she did say they were going to push to revert some of the things that happened, the decisions that were made last year. So I guess it's working, and I'm very happy about it. So I definitely will have to look into the details of how that's going to happen and what specifics will qualify for that. But that's definitely amazing news, and I actually hadn't come across it yet.
Good. Okay. Excellent stuff. So all the best over there. Let's let you get to bed. So delighted that we could connect.
We still have 10 minutes, so I don't know.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay. So anything else? I mean, do you feel like you're out of the loop then here in Portugal?
It's a lot harder to keep in the loop because of the 8-hour time difference. So the time where I can actually still do like the meetings with my team and so on tends to be between 4 p.m. and like 7 p.m. there. That's like
Oh, of
8
course.
a.m. to 11 a.m. here. So it's
Yep.
a really small window. And because I've been pretty busy just catching up and getting adapted here in the US, I haven't been paying as much attention to what's going on in Portugal, but this is just this initial phase where when I kind of moved to a different country, although I'm not going to live here, nor I have any intention to. I very much like my healthcare.
Mhm.
I'm still going to have a fairly long stay here because my goal right now is 3 months to network and organize and plan and get things working on my own, and another 3 months to train someone to do that for me and get things running here in
Wow.
the US when I'm out.
What a
So
brilliant plan.
it's a
Okay.
fairly long stay. And yes, this first phase is that phase, of the culture shock.
So if anyone knows anyone who might be that person for you, to reach out to you as well, yeah? Somebody.
Yes. I
Yeah.
guess it's a PR and sales position mostly,
Yeah.
and basically to have more direct contact and direct support here in the US. That will one of the things on my to-do list is also to go to the embassy and just ask how can I help create better bridges and facilitate the processes for both parties.
Very
So
good.
that's definitely something I want to do, just overall making the process as smooth as possible for people coming and having a bit more support on this end.
Very good. I'll put you in touch with Stuart from Canopy as well, who we had on the show last week. He has a networking entrepreneur pitching event. I think it's most weeks in Lisbon, but they also have a branch in the United States as well. I'm sure he'll be able to help you over there. Bob's asking, as well as saying, good to hear about the NHR adjusting a bit. Are you looking for a Portuguese American for your assistant? And I'm asking,
That would be pretty cool. But
yeah,
yeah, because the position is basically partially selling people on Portugal. So
yeah, very good. Okay, and are they going to get 10,000 a month?
probably not. I mean, the idea is to have, I have no idea. I
I'm
have
only
to see
kidding,
how
but
profitable they are. But
yes, of
the
course.
idea is to be like a base salary with commission.
Yeah.
And I will be working out how much that will be on the next few months, depending on how things go here.
Well, that's amazing. And the other thing, of course, that we should mention is people might be thinking, oh, if Anna's in America, in California, she can't be helping us in Portugal. That's not true. Your team is still hard at work in
Yes,
Portugal,
I
right?
have 7 workers. I always focus more on the incoming clients, and I mostly work personally on the investment projects, like the big
Right.
investment projects, like the one we have in Gaia with 150 apartments. The company is fully trained and fully systemized to support clients fully on the relocation and rental and purchase of homes without my direct involvement.
Well, you've done a great job there then. So that they are independent and ready to help people who want to move to Portugal. So just because you're out of the country doesn't mean people can't get service.
Yes, that's what I've been doing the past 3 years, getting the business optimized and the company structured.
Yeah.
And as my coach, my business coach say, a business is something that works for you, not because of you.
Oh, very good. That's
It's
a very
supposed to be, but I'm still on
yeah.
the very much because of me for
Well,
phase of things.
it's of course it's a work in progress, isn't it, to get to that? And
Yes.
I think it's typically very difficult for an entrepreneur to detach in that
Yeah.
way. So that's amazing.
It's not really about the touching, it's about making the systems work and things not fall apart when you're away. That's kind of the idea.
This
It's
is the
not
test.
supposed to be everything falling on you.
Yeah, very good. So this will be a test of that. Something else I'd like to ask you about or talk to you about is we went to Santarém on. I mean, because you're helping people relocate to Portugal, you're helping them research interesting places, and Santarém is fantastic. We didn't realize how beautiful and enjoyable it was to be in that city. Not often on the map for people, is it?
The last time I was in Santarém was 2 years ago. And I think it's a very good city when it comes to proximity to Lisbon and price quality,
Hmm.
but it's not a particularly charming city,
I
or
didn't
at
think
least it
so.
wasn't to it. I think it was kind of messy when it comes to construction and so on, a bit all over the place. Then you have that outer area that has faces the river, which is a bit more charming, and you do
Definitely.
have a lot of older homes and so on. But I wouldn't call it a very charming city, but it can definitely be a very good city to live in from a practical perspective.
Yeah, yeah, we thought that. And where else then? You say you've been operating for, I think you said 3 years now, and it was very obvious, wasn't it, when people were first coming, they were interested in Lisbon and Porto, and in those days maybe Aveiro as well. That was beginning to be on the map, wasn't it? Setúbal was appearing as an attractive place to go, and of course the Algarve was a bit of a perennial. What else? Where else is emerging now for as a place to settle for people?
Honestly, one of the most popular locations for us in the first 2 years was the Silver Coast. For
Yep.
some reason, things got a bit quieter there now. I'm not sure why. Right now, we have more popularity in the north. But one of the reasons I did my national tube trip was also to showcase the interior of Portugal and the different
Yeah.
areas there that tend to be a lot more affordable. So I would say a place to put on the list is Viseu, was my personal favorite during the trip.
Mhm.
And Abrantes is
Yes.
interesting as a city because you have the old city that is an old city that needs some rehabilitation and it's still a bit run down. But then you have the new city that is completely different, full of new buildings. And you have a lot of very interesting nature locations around, like some small waterfalls and streams and fluvial beaches and that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So it can be a very interesting location to live in, and it's I think about 1 hour 40 from Lisbon. So that can be interesting. And our Lisbon agent is natural from that area, so she would
Okay.
be able to get all the inside deals there. So
Very good. So that's a branch. In
she
case
is
you're wondering.
extremely savvy.
Of course, you have to be savvy to be part of the Savvy Cat team, don't you? That's how, that's
Yes.
essential and not just desirable when working with Ana Caramujo here. So a
Yes, but
branch.
my personal favorite is still the north, and Chaves is also great and very, very affordable.
Okay.
And overall, I still think that the most beautiful landscapes and the quality of life can be in the north because you have Porto, that is the second biggest city. It's
Mhm.
a very affordable area, and you have some of the most beautiful mountain lush green landscapes.
Yeah.
And I personally prefer those kinds of landscapes, so I tend to have a fall to that side.
No, I totally understand that. Okay, so for those people who might not be familiar with you, who see this coming out on YouTube, could you just quickly, before you go, detail exactly how Savvy Cat can help people? And that is when they're looking at Portugal, because it's confusing this morning. We've got
Yes.
Anna who's in California this morning and business building over there. But what is it your firm does for people who are looking to move to Portugal?
So Savvy Cat is a relocation and investment agency. We work with lifestyle packages that help you in the whole process of moving to Portugal until you get settled. We help you with the documentation, opening bank accounts, and the big distinction of our service is the lifestyle side. So it is very important for us to get a tailored service and to understand our clients' lifestyle needs to try and match them with the best possible locations. We include tours in all of our buying package, which allowed the client to explore these locations in person and ask all the locals agents for the input. And we also support with renovation and construction and manage investment projects. All of our services were done to protect buyers as much as possible. So we also include legal support and engineering inspections.
Wow, I think you're ready for your networking events. Yes, that's perfectly put. And that's elevator pitch, especially for American elevators, which are bigger and take a little bit longer to go from
They're
ground.
actually quite fast. The whole
Okay,
the
so you'd
ones
have to
that.
say that faster. Okay. Anna, it's been brilliant seeing you, and thanks for staying up. Much
Thank you.
appreciated. Let's do this again next month and check in with
Yes,
you again. And
and
if there's
we'll
anything
see where I'll be then.
absolutely, and if there's a lot of great American friends here in our community. So if there's anything they can do for you, I'm sure they'll be happy to do so. And that's exactly James is on trend with you here. And one of the reasons I'm exploring living in the north, what Anna said there, and I suspect there may be a higher percentage of Americans from Northern California. And
Mhm.
Bob also saying earlier on, there are several Portuguese communities on each coast, so you won't have to
Yes,
fly to
I
Massachusetts.
actually in San Diego, I was taken around the Portuguese neighborhood where there's also like a Portuguese community, but it was Sunday, so it was closed. But
Mm.
there was all the Portuguese flags there and so on, so it was fun to see.
Yes, and you'll hear them tonight, of course, as well. When
Yes.
we play France tonight. I hope you are able to see that. Although, how's that going to work? Anyway, I'll leave that to you. The logistics on the football. Great to see you. Have a great weekend in America, and thanks for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Have a
All
good
right,
day. Good
good
Friday.
job. See ya.
Bye.
Thank you, Anna. Right, there she goes. Yeah, if we can help her at all in America, let's do that. How exciting. And what a brave, adventurous entrepreneur, Portuguese entrepreneur she is. Now, it may look like I'm sat towards one side of the screen here. That's because I'm about to, I think the word that can be used is scotch the rumors that I have not been kicked out of the family home. Because when we advertised the Good Morning Portugal show, we often see this lady. I don't know if you remember her. You often see this woman here who sat next to me, Mrs. Munson, in fact. So let's prove that she is not AI now, and I'm not in my mum's basement in London.
Hello.
That's quite convincing so far. Okay,
Let's see. I mean, we have to prove it. I have to.
Are you going to
do
pinch
something.
me or
Yeah,
something?
I'm going to do something that's going to make you.
Ow! A tweaking of the nipple. I think AI will doesn't do such things. So you're definitely AI. And stop pulling the hairs on my legs. Right. So last time I'm wearing a cat t-shirt and my shorts in the studio, especially when you're here. Okay. I'm not sure what this video is here. Let's just have a little bit of a palate cleanse, and then we'll hang out and chat with you.
Great.
We are a change of speed now. We've had the high energy of Ana Caramujo in the United
Wasn't
States.
she looking amazing?
For 1 o'clock in the morning, she's not doing too badly, is she?
She looks like life is really suiting her.
Yeah, I think so. I think the culture. I think she'll feel that tide rising beneath her there, and it'll be great for her. Let's now go into the Bayradian countryside, a place that we love, of course, and have enjoyed living. Okay, and we'll be right back after this.
Hello. The video's a bit shaky. I think it's the autofocus thing. Not working on it very well. But here we are, out on our walk. Yeah. Oh, there's a pretty flower. Going to be a hot one today, apparently, in the 30s. But pretty cool this morning. Luckily, it still gets quite cool at night. It takes a little while for it to get too hot. But, yeah, lovely. Cicadas. A few birds in the background. There we are then, we're off. Ciao, ciao, bye.
We will thank you, Andy, for that. Wasn't that lovely?
That was so
Does that remind you of living in that
beautiful.
part
Yeah,
of the countryside?
absolutely, it really does.
Right. We need to ask everybody if they could hear you whispering during that or not, or if
What was I whispering? Can
You
I
say,
have
can
my
I-
water?
when you say your water, yeah, and move over. Could anyone hear that? Could you let us know? Because I might have to do something about the microphone balancing. Yeah, but you say your water. Is that because that is some kind of weird
Yes.
kombucha, saline, or
Yeah.
kefir or something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm glad I didn't pick that up and drink it.
I was like slightly hoping you would, because that's
Right.
always fun.
And yes, as I spit it out across the desk here. Hola, Luisa from Aviva, Ocean Dweller. You're such a cheerful presence on the show.
Well, I think that's quite funny, because often I'm a bit snarky when I'm on your show, aren't I? A little bit edgy.
You are edgy. You are edgy. And we'll be honest, we had a couple of bad days as well, haven't we? We had a bit of a
my
Barney,
goodness.
didn't we?
Yeah.
And
yeah,
so
we-
it's a miracle that you're here at all. But thank you very much. And I think the way that we're going to have you come here on a regular basis is to fix up because that's what happens, isn't it? If you don't make a date for it, it drifts away.
Oh, is
doesn't
this
it?
our date? Is this our
No,
romantic hookup?
yeah, this is the bit of time we get to spend together.
Well, this is
and I'm
lovely.
pinning you down now, not literally.
It's good that you've got James and Aviva in the audience because they're both
What,
psychologists.
therapists?
They're both therapists, aren't
Right.
they?
Do we need some
And,
help?
Well, you know what?
Oh,
When
no.
when you brought me up a cup of tea this morning,
Yes.
I'm very grateful. You woke me up out of a nightmare, and
Oh, I see.
and I've
Okay,
got
so it's
this
not
very-
marital couples counselling.
I'm wondering if we've got some sort of dream analyzers in the
Okay.
audience because it was a dream
Phew.
about you, and I'd like to describe
Oh,
it. If
no.
that's okay.
Okay. Well, you know how little I enjoy hearing dreams, but please go. Other people might enjoy that, so please
Okay.
go ahead and do it.
So Carl was doing one of his weekenders, and
That's a bad start.
me and the
Right.
family were with him,
Yeah.
and we were in this big house, and of course we didn't like all the rooms were different, and the consensus was that you'd moved everything around because Carl has this
That's what I
habit.
do. Yeah.
Carl loves moving things around a lot, and so yeah, we're having this, like, there was this sort of party thing going on in the background, and Carl was chatting to a woman, and all of a sudden it went quiet, and he said, "Look, this bit doesn't really relate to you." And so I went off
To
into
who? To you?
to me,
Yeah, okay.
and then you both went silent until I left. So I thought, okay. And so I went into a back room to get dressed, only to realize I didn't have any clothes. I was completely naked, which is, one of those old dream memes, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Okay. But you were a networking dude, completely naked, or
Yes,
you got
yeah.
seriously?
Later, I was completely naked.
That's what I would love to do, but I've never had the courage to do so far. Right, okay.
Yeah, you really would.
Yeah.
And then I turned around looking for my clothes, and I saw this giant pineapple, and it was moving.
Of course you did.
And it was moving towards me at some
Yes.
speed, and I thought, crikey, what's happened to that?
Run.
Yeah, I did start to run from it.
Yeah.
But then I turned around and I realized there were some big crabs underneath it.
Yes, obviously.
And they were walking around with this pineapple, and it looked almost like a Disney thing. And so I ran to get you.
I can almost hear the music.
So I ran to get you and say, quick, grab your phone.
Let me guess, and you
This is
couldn't
gonna
run.
This is going to be really good content.
Yes.
And then as I ran,
Oh, what a trooper you are!
I know,
Even
in my
in,
dreams, even when I feel
even in the
rejected
horror
by
of
you.
a dream, you're thinking about creating content.
I'm thinking about you creating content.
What a professional!
I am, absolutely.
Yes.
And then as I went to get you to have a look at this amazing crab, pineapple.
The classic Disney crab-powered pineapple.
Yes. As I went, all of a sudden I was stuck to the floor, and I had these great big pincers holding my arms
Yeah.
on both sides and behind my head. And these crabs had grown really, really big. And they were pinning me down. And so I was calling for you. I was calling
And let me guess,
calling
your
and
voice
saying,
wasn't coming out.
Yeah, there was
Yeah.
a bit of that going
Yes,
on.
yeah. You can never
And I was
scream loud
calling.
enough in a dream, can
And
you?
then in the end, I screamed loud enough, and then all of a sudden I heard you put the tea next to me.
So-
and it woke me up, and I was so grateful because it was terrifying.
Yes, and that's us communicating across the dimensions
Is it?
inadvertently. Yeah,
So I was
my
calling you, and
subconscious and your
you knew.
subconscious were intertwined like
Yeah.
twin flames. That's my interpretation. What do other people think?
Well, I mean, the last thing just to say
Yeah.
is Carl is actually a Cancerian. His
Oh, the
his-
crab.
Yeah, his star sign.
Well, I'm
is
not a
the crab.
pineapple.
No, I don't know what the pineapple is.
Sweet but spiky on the outside.
I don't know.
Okay.
I'd be very keen
Good with
to
salt?
hit. I mean, I did buy a giant pineapple yesterday because I saw one of those hacks on how to actually open it without any kind of, well, just with your bare hands.
Oh, you've not been watching
I
hacks
have,
again.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
So I bought a beautiful pineapple so I could show you and the kids today how
How
could
the
do it.
hack doesn't work in real life.
Yes.
Can't wait for that. Fantastic. Since you've been away, clearly you're not
What have
AI.
I missed? What have I missed?
We've got a few new people who've joined us. João van Groningen is a
Isn't
regular
that
now.
Joan?
Yeah, but that's you say in Portuguese as
Oh.
João.
Really?
Yeah, we do anyway. She
Okay.
doesn't mind.
Oh, really?
Well, she didn't last time.
Hi, Joan. Or
Hi, Joan.
Joan.
João.
Joan.
And
Are
Paul's
you,
here.
are you coming here from Holland.
Sounds
It's-
like
it
she
looks-
might be
yeah.
from the land of clogs and
Hello.
pancakes. Yes, okay. Carl, can I wish you a happy birthday? You most certainly can. In an English, not Portuguese way, because as
Yeah.
a Portuguese, you don't wish happy birthdays in
Don't
advance.
you?
No,
Don't
you
you?
don't. No.
Oh.
I am sure Louisa will have Megan plans for you
Yes, I'm bringing Megan in for you.
and Harry as well.
No.
Just Megan.
Yeah, just Megan.
Okay, all right. What a lovely day out that'll be. But I think Harry should join us as well.
What,
Our-
so
our
the
old mate,
two
Harry.
gingers can go and burn,
Megan,
like hide
Meghan
from the-
Markle, Ginger.
Oh, Harry.
Oh, I see. Right. Okay. Yeah. All right. Of course. Silly me. Right,
Harry
okay.
and I can hide from the sun.
Yes, together. While me and Megan can walk up and down the marginal as being papped by celebrity photo snipers or whatever. Okay. Bon dia, Gumpers. Just tune in to hear Louisa talking about being naked and giant pineapples. Yes. Welcome to the Good Morning Portugal show. No, either I'm smoking some strong or GMP has had a change of theme. Well,
Morning,
yes,
Jackie.
when Mrs. M is here, there is a change of theme, and we will do this at least once a month now. Have your
Yeah, my dream
assurance.
corner.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What happens when? Because I do think sometimes, we don't always see our patterns, do we? Especially
No,
when
good. We're the
we've
worst to
just,
see them.
like we've migrated, and there are loads and loads of little things to work out. I think
Yeah.
in our unconscious minds.
Yes, yeah.
And certainly something. I mean, it was in color as well. I rarely dream. I rarely remember my dreams.
Well, same here.
So this is
Which might be a blessing, of course. Right, we've got a few things to share with people
Okay,
as we
what
get
are we
ready for the
sharing?
weekend and the bon fin semana.
and your birthday
My birthday on Sunday.
and the yearly cutting of the disaster cake.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry when you said, kids, we've got to get some ingredients for the cake yesterday, and I said, oh, there's really no need for that. So maybe there'll be a bit of cake left over on Monday that I can show everybody on Monday morning. There's a video here of 2 minutes. I don't know what it is, but maybe we should play
That's a
it.
bit risky. Who sent it?
It is a bit.
Is
It's
it,
not.
Is it
it's
a
not.
reliable contact?
It's not a dream video. You're okay. I don't know. I can't. It just says WhatsApp video.
Is it Pete
sent
trying
yesterday.
to get you to play something a bit naughty
It could well be, couldn't
while
it?
he's
I
chuckling
think we
away in
might
the
take
background?
bit of feel good Friday fun. We might take that risk. We've got Bairandi's events that are happening in the Bairrada district that are from the Gumper map. These are screenshots from the Gumper map, which is always a nice trip down memory lane for us, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. Yeah, absolutely.
And Bobby
know-
is on tour again, and we've got some pictures from him.
I looked at the top 2 or 3 places that you and I and the fam should be living in.
Oh, astrologically.
According to astrology.
Yeah. What's that
And
called?
all-
Geoastrology?
Oh, there's loads of different words for
Okay,
it. But
yeah.
astrolocation.
Mhm.
But one of the places where all of our lines cross is around Korea and
Is it?
Anadia and Coimbra.
It was written.
Yeah, so we've
It
already
was
been
written.
in, and we all did feel very much at home in that
We
area.
did,
didn't
we did. We'll have a nice reminisce then with those events as well. See, Juan does not mind, I think. Doesn't the symbol of pineapple mean good luck and welcome?
I hope so.
But not if it's being powered by a team of crabs, maybe. I don't know.
Or crabby crabs.
And yeah, okay. Yay, more of the lovely Lou, please. There you go. That's you. And how are you, Antonio F? How are you doing, sweetie? Yes, absolutely, Antonio. How are you and your family? And it's raining cats and dogs here. Now, I notice I've got my cat T-shirt on. Thank you, Mrs.
I will
Duck,
never
for the
wear
early
one.
birthday
I will
present.
never wear anything with a dog on.
Well, that's what I was about to ask you. I've
not gonna
got
happen.
my cat mug. I've got my cat T-shirt. We've had Savvy Cat Ana on. And what have you done to make good with the dogs? Nothing.
Nothing.
You'll be shouting at them through the window in
I
no
will.
time, I'm sure. As
I
well.
will be shouting and saying, "Get off the trampoline."
Get off the trampoline. Now, there's another income stream we should
Hey,
look at.
Owen, happy birthday for yesterday.
But you say that so casually.
Sorry.
The dog's on the trampoline. I mean, that's
Yes.
that's an act, isn't it? We could
Yeah.
tour with that. Okay. Yes. I mean,
No,
his
but they're not
birthday
actually
yesterday.
trampolining. They're just licking their.
Eating
They're sunning their
themselves.
they're sunning themselves.
Yes, whilst chewing the trampoline, which is not
Yes.
really an act, is it?
Whilst chewing
Act of
the,
violence.
Yes, whilst chewing the brand new, very expensive, large trampoline.
All right, so not over it. Let's not go into how cats treat furniture, shall we? Not right now. Bom dia todos. Você adorável pessoas.
Oh, that's so
Thank you,
nice.
Squire. How are
Thank
you
you.
doing as well? And Michael says a lot of people say hello to him as God Squad tip of the day as well, because you're doing some interesting fitness work at the moment. We'll talk about that as well, I think. Yes, you are. You know you are.
Actually, I'm doing crab walks.
Exactly.
Crab
Nudity
crawls.
in a dream can, very good, nicely done, be representative of vulnerability and feeling exposed and or many other things, as is true of all dreams. You were also being restrained and it was causing you pain.
Oh, that's very good. That's very insightful.
Well, of course, he's a very sensitive therapist.
And I was being,
with his own
and
YouTube
I
channel.
was feeling maybe that I was restrained by a crab,
Yep.
a crabby crab,
Yes. Yeah.
or that I was putting my restraints on you.
Exactly. Yeah.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
definitely worth
So
looking
lots
at.
to talk to your therapist
you.
about on Monday. Bon dia, todos from Ian then earlier on this morning at 7:22. It's certainly Feel Good Friday. Sexta-feira. Hope it is for you as well. Nice one, Ian. God's got to the day then. My last leg strengthening exercise for the week is probably the simplest of all. Just walk upstairs if you can, if you don't live in a bungalow. 2 steps at a time. If you can run up them, even better.
That's great.
It
Do you know
is.
what I've started doing?
Well, I know. Are you talking about your toddler exercises that you've been doing?
Primal moves.
It's a Todd squad rather than the God squad.
It's primal movement.
Well, let me just finish his God squad tip of the day and
Okay,
see
well,
see if you can integrate your toddler primal exercise regime with this. It's why it's not such a great idea to move into a single story house when you get older. Although that might seem practical. And the coach is saying it. That's why my mum was, I think, at 88. She'll hate me for saying her age, but she lives on the 3rd floor.
She's 85.
She's 88.
She's born in 38.
She's 85. It's why it's not so. No, hold on a minute.
86. Oh, what year are we in?
Call yourself an astrologer. It's why you know.
She's gone through her Uranus return. I know that.
Yeah, she's gone through my Uranus return. It's why it's not such a great idea to move into a single story house when you get older. Physiotherapists recognize the issue of bungalow legs. There you go.
She's 86.
And she can walk up 3 flights of stairs still, so fair play to her.
Yeah, and she can chase us with a stick.
Up those 3 sets of stairs, even walking upstairs 2 to 3 times a day is important. She certainly won't forgive me for saying her age and getting it wrong like that, will she? Athletes will practice going up 1 step at a time for the fast feet and 2 or more to develop reactive power. Stairs, you see, it's your own gym in the house. While that's a bit extreme for most, adapting it will generate more strength. So thank you, Coach Turner. So tell us more about your new regime and how you discovered it.
Well, it's not exactly a regime because I'm not like using it as a stick to beat myself with.
Yeah.
But I'm just having a bit of fun. I saw a while ago somebody posted something, I think on my Facebook timeline, it might have been you even, about a woman in her 40s that was having great fun doing parkour all over the place.
Yes.
And I thought, wow, she looks like she's having a great fun. I mean, she might be in her 50s actually.
It was a bit of a P take, wasn't it? A bit of a Mickey take.
Well,
but
no,
she was having a great time.
She was having a great time. She was just like jumping all around and stuff.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh God, I'd love to do that. And then in that way that is really creepy, all of a sudden I started getting adverts on YouTube for parkour.
Listen, what happens,
things.
isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah. And then I saw these guys that do something called primal movement, the Tap Brothers on YouTube.
You see, when I hear the phrase primal movement, my mind goes elsewhere, away from fitness.
These guys have got like over 1 million subscribers.
I don't doubt it.
And they're fit as a fiddle. I mean, obviously they're like 20 years younger than me.
And you kind of have to, if you're going to have a fitness channel, you've got to, for the sake of integrity,
you have to be fit, right?
Yeah, it does help. It does help.
These guys were just like, there was something about them, a sort of integrity that I liked.
Yeah.
And they were just clearly enjoying life, and they were quite athletic and gymnastic. And I used to be quite gymnastic. And so they were just showing some of the primal moves that underpin everything. And it's, a lot of it's based on
what all the sort of basic movements of life.
Getting your core muscles really, really like working hard.
Yeah.
And I remember having a conversation with you quite a while ago about, I wonder what it'd be like to just crawl again and to use movements like babies, because they're so free and expressed, and they learn to go from being on all fours to standing up.
Yeah, it's with an almighty step, literally.
Yeah, it is. And so when I saw that the Tap Brothers were teaching you how to crawl and teaching you how to crawl without your knees on the floor, to build strength, and then crawling backwards and forwards. I realized I actually quite like it.
Okay.
And then doing a crab crawl, where I'm actually facing upwards and I've got my hands and my feet underneath. And so I'm crab crawling frontwards, backwards, side to side.
Over the Irish Sea.
Yeah. And then like an ape crawl where I'm like running around.
Oh,
like
I can do
monkey.
that one.
You
I love doing
do
that one. Yeah.
But when Coach Turner, and I'm really enjoying it. It just feels like
that
fun.
for a while, actually. I'm quite good at doing a silverback gorilla who's quite angry on the
hairy.
bed.
Yes,
yes,
you're very good at that.
On
I don't think people want to hear that.
No, true. Okay, sorry.
So when Coach T was talking about using the stairs, actually about 3 or 4 times this week, I've had this desire to throw myself up the stairs and then really quickly
It's
crawl
all coming
up.
together then. Excellent.
And that's what I've been doing. I've been scrambling up the stairs.
And nothing would have
when no one's looking.
Really?
Yeah.
Nothing would
I've gone up and
confuse
down
a
them.
crab-powered pineapple than dropping onto all floors and scurrying away.
Yeah.
And
so I've really enjoyed it. And when we went to Saint-Alain last week with our kids, Minnie was using a climbing frame where you're upright, and then it changes its axis, and then you end up sort of tipping over whilst using a controlled movement. And it was terrifying for her. Yeah. And I realized with the exercises I'm doing right now, I might even be able to do that one day.
Very good.
But not yet.
Okay, but
I'd love to.
Coach Turner was talking about that, I think, last week or earlier this week, about practicing falling over and catching yourself at the last minute, which is good to reinforce that.
It's brought back some of my old jiu-jitsu training when we used to throw ourselves at the floor.
Amazing. Okay.
But then kind of block us and stop us from hurting ourselves.
If you have been in Ponte Lima and there was an American man who looks like Wolverine on all fours in the vegetable aisle, it was Bob.
Really?
I followed and used the Tap Brothers program. Great stuff. Thank you.
Oh, they're great, Bob.
I have. Yeah, but it's a bit scary when you're just going about your business in Ponte Lima and Bob Wenger turn a corner and there he is on the floor scuttling around like a toddler.
Bob, we can do some crawling together.
Oh, how lovely.
When you come over in July.
With Harry and Meghan as well. That's gonna be, that'll make the papers. Thank you, Louisa. I had dropped the crawling from my routines, bringing it back today.
It's so much fun. And here's the other thing: I've wanted the kids to get involved in something. And
yeah,
of course, now they've seen me crawling. They're all doing it. They're doing it with me.
Yeah. Okay.
It's good fun.
You're lucky they're not teenagers yet, aren't they?
Yeah.
So can you imagine? That is the ultimate. Mom, please stop crawling down the street in San Martino de Porto.
Well, when we raced each other through La Vie shopping centre from top to bottom.
Yes.
So me and the kids were going down the escalators, and you were going down in the lift.
Yep.
The crazy thing is, as me and the kids legged it to the escalator, I thought, oh my God, I actually want to
drop to the floor.
No, I actually wanted to launch myself over the handrail.
Okay.
I never would have managed.
Oh, in a real sort of parkour flourish.
Yeah. I had this I don't know, all of a sudden this kind of parkour
I'd have never
visualization.
I would never have forgiven the Tap Brothers if you'd have done
fallen to my death.
That's incredible.
From 3 stories. Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. Thank you, Bob. Bob's enjoying a reminder there of the Tap Brothers. We haven't got long to go here on the show this morning, as we wish you a bon fin de semana. And I've got some love. I've got a quick competition.
I was hoping I might get a few more dream interpretations.
No, I think it's finished. James has a final thought on dreams. Literally here, look, they can also be random firing of neurons. That's what I would say. And the brain simply trying to build something that makes some semblance of sense with them. There you go. Some people's daytimes are like that as well as their night times, aren't they? Random
My
firing.
Days are a bit like that.
Random firing of neurons. A competition just in then. Guess what Gilda was celebrating yesterday?
Independence Day?
Yes. Well, how did you guess?
Don't know.
You are so perceptive. And here, look at this lovely photo. You know a couple of these ladies here. You don't know Carolina in the middle. She's from the EI team.
Sarah looks wonderful.
Sarah looks fabulous.
She looks like she's really fitting in nicely.
She does, and she looks like she's gone from Wimbledon, doesn't she? At the moment,
similar.
flown over by helicopter to the wherever they were, the American ambassador's back garden or whatever, not a euphemism. Sarah, Davey there of Spartan FX, Carolina there from EI, and the boss, the Queen of the Visas, Gilda. They're looking like she's having a great time, and they phoned in to the Dream Team session last night. Whilst the rest of us were busy working, they were larking about, and we've got other pictures, but we can't show them all just at the moment. Maybe we'll hold those till Monday, or when Gilda joins us, because Gilda's rejoining us once a month as well soon. Right, Bobby's on tour in Burgos, I believe
Where's
it's
that?
called, in Spain. Now, it's a second visit to Burgos from the community. Fabrizio and Ian were there, and I was sent this by Bobby. Would you or wouldn't you, Mrs. M?
What?
I've sent this machine that Bobby
What is it
captured
like,
a picture of. It's a
what is it, like
pizza machine.
a pizza machine? So you
Yes.
select your toppings and it makes it in 3 minutes.
I mean, that's a disaster. It's got to be.
I don't think I
Not
would.
only is
Is
it
it
a
like,
pizza made by a machine,
No.
it's really in 3 minutes. That is
No.
asking for trouble. And there's just one small
Sorry, I just
concession,
wouldn't.
isn't there? It's a pizza oven. Honest, look, it's got terracotta bricks where the pizza comes out.
Isn't that just a vending machine?
With a microwave
No
and
way.
frozen pizzas inside.
No
Well, there's
way.
maybe a guy in there doing it when the money drops in.
Like Ratatouille style, a load of rats making it.
I hope
miniature people.
not. I hope not.
No, there's no way I'd go for that. That looks
Well, I
disgusting.
sent it. It's almost the equivalent of breaking spaghetti in front of Fabrizio. But I sent it to him and said, "Did you see this when you were in Burgos, where Bobby, I think, took this picture?" He said I think he said he wouldn't stoop that low. And there is one in Stubal.
Really?
Yes,
Oh
I
my
think
goodness.
what he actually said was he's a proper lady and he would never do. He would never do that.
Do you know what? I might just buy one. I mean, it
The
depends.
kids would love
again.
this, wouldn't they?
I just might buy. Well, I don't know if I'd want them to have it. I might just buy one to see what it looks like, but I wouldn't intend on eating it.
What he said was, I would rather do a bag of chips with lots of salt and a bit of vinegar with curry sauce from the South Lambeth Road on my way back from the pub, because I'm a real lady. The vinegar from pickled onions and the vinegar from the pickled onions jar, because I'm classy as is actually what the Italian said when he saw that.
Yeah.
Let's have a look at some Spanish. Well, that's a kind of Italian influence. It's
just-
American influence.
I
Really.
mean, I just don't really want some kind of food that's masquerading as real food.
That's the problem, isn't it?
absolutely,
Yes.
like full of some kind of preservatives
Yeah.
and used like a microwave as well.
Well, it can't be that hard finding decent food in Spain, as I think we're about to find out. And there's pictures from Fabrizio improved as well. These are pictures from Burgos. Look at the light there. That does. When we drove through Spain into Portugal, we were seeing this sort of vista, weren't we?
Yeah.
Before now. And here's some of the good food in Spain. There's a close up of a man carving a pig leg right in front of you.
That's like what we saw at
Mercadona.
I was going to say at the pub down the road.
Is that right?
What's it called? The
There's a
one
bit
with the
of
live music.
Prohibition.
Yeah,
Do they have a pig? Oh, they have, haven't they? They've
Yeah,
got one of
they've
those
got,
on the bar as
they've
well.
got
Okay,
a-
this is Burgos as well. A Bobby on tour in Spain there, and a nice. I think that might be the town crest or emblem right there. We'll go to the Bayradian events in just a moment. This event coming up, this is the one that I think I'm going to be taking part in
Really?
on Tuesday evening.
Home miners.
The Home Miners, that's Stephen, who's
Oh,
tuned
okay.
in this morning. Cost of living in Portugal, affordable luxury properties. You should you should
I need
watch
to
it.
watch, don't I?
Yes, purchasing houses for under 50,000. Have you got anything for under 5,000, Stephen? low risk investment options. He probably has, you know. And Eagle, good morning to you, Daddy. I want ice cream. This is refers back to the tea duck feature. Lies we tell our children. Daddy, I want ice cream. I'm squirreling this away for the weekend just in case I get asked that question. Believe me. Me too, honey, but mummy only gave us enough money for 3 beers. Yes, the lies we tell our children there. Right, let's have a look at these events in Bayrada. Although, should we play that video before we do that? Should we see what it is?
Yeah, go on.
Okay, let's see what that video is. And we're going to go out with music today.
Oh, wait.
We have a reworking of We Can Make It Better, which you'll remember as a Good Morning Portugal classic from Mackenzie and Gardner, Clive Gardner, of course, in the Algarve. Let's have a look at this video and come back with those events. Crowds or not.
That's is that in Portugal?
Ponte Lima.
In-
There's a
wow.
horse fair going on. Now, you said you were sharing a dream of being chased by a pineapple and a gang of crabs.
Yeah.
If I'd said to you, I had this dream, I had this crazy dream of a Spanish woman singing and doing flamenco, and there was a horse dancing next to her, and there were all these coloured lights. That's like a dream as well, isn't it?
I was just wondering if she was kind of seducing the horse. Like to me, it looked like she had a relationship with the horse, and
That was probably be to just stimulate the
How
man
did
and
the
to take
horse-
more attention.
how did the horse prance like that?
It's dreamlike stuff, and thank
Like
you
it was
very
almost
much.
like he was on ballet toes.
Yes.
And how he was like swishing his tail, in time with the music.
It was amazing.
That poor horse. I mean, I wonder if they enjoy doing that.
Yeah, well, it would appear so, more so than the Grand National. And there's a pizza cook behind a machine. Okay, that's how that machine actually works. And Louisa, the singer Shakira uses crawling as part of her fitness
Oh,
and also in her dance routines as well.
Really?
And her hips don't lie.
I think
So
they do.
that's excellent. You think they do? Oh, that's so bitchy.
No, I don't mean it for
Wow.
that reason.
Right. Okay. Beautiful display there. Is that Shakira's hips or the horse that you're talking about there? And back to Bairrada and Bairrandi. Bon dia, Malta. Lovely to see Mrs. M. I hope everyone has an ottimo fin semana.
that's lovely.
There. That is lovely, isn't it? Very good. And Antonio's already been at the gym this morning. Were you doing any crawling, Antonio? 7 a.m.
Do you
That's
know
a
what?
cracking start,
I'm
isn't
going
it?
to start to identify as somebody who works out.
Well, okay, just put a towel around your neck and carry a bottle of water everywhere you go. That's all you have to do.
Oh.
Believe me. Louisa, I exercised today because of admiring my mother and joining her following Jack LaLanne on TV.
Oh.
Do you know him? He's an amazing legend of fitness.
I think I've seen him selling juices or a juicer.
Well, he pops
on
up.
shopping channels and things like that.
I don't
in
think
the
he's with us
past.
anymore, is he?
No, but in
Oh,
the
okay.
past I've seen him promoting really good juicers.
He is
because of his fitness.
he's in that movie Frosted or Unfrosted about the Battle of the Pop-Tarts. He turns up in that. Not him himself, but a representation of him as well. So okay,
My dad did the big what are they called?
Charles Atlas.
Yeah, my dad
Charles Atlas.
did whose name isn't actually Charles Atlas.
Of course
when
it's
I wikied
not.
him, his
Yeah.
name was like really different. Was it like Giuseppe or something? I don't know, but it was like completely different name.
Yes, we
or
didn't
Angelo
conjure
or
up the
something.
same sort of image
No,
as
not
Charles
like
Atlas
Charles
might.
Atlas.
Yes.
But my dad, I remember one year he was just like really normal, and then about a month or so later, he had these massive biceps.
And to this day, no one dares kick sand in his face.
Definitely not.
I mean, he
And,
was on San Martino Beach, and I saw some kids about to kick some sand. They saw him coming along and said, "No, don't do it. Do not do it." Ali Tan is here.
He's been teaching those Charles Atlas exercises to our almost teen.
And they can barely get through the door now. Right, weekend car show in Mama Rosa. You remember Mama Rosa with the breastfeeding
yes.
mural? I believe
No, I
that's
don't
a-
remember the breastfeeding.
I
one.
do. Festa de Vista Alegre. That's on the. We just missed that one, but that's the beautiful porcelain factory producer there. I think we might have missed that. Yeah, unless that's the 3rd to the 7th, and it's still ongoing. I think it might be. So you can visit the incredible Vista Alegre facility there near Aveiro. On the outskirts, Ancash Folk Festival. Oh, the memories of the Bairrada flooding back. All these
Yeah.
names, we know them, don't we?
Yeah.
These are all findable on the Gumper map. Thank you so much, Andy. We're going to go out with some wonderful music
Yeah.
and have a bit of a
Ben
dance this
Pushta.
morning. Look at that. Ben Pushta,
Oh,
Soup Festival. Got to love a
Mm.
soup festival, haven't you?
I remember the really great festival.
You
sorry,
said festival.
I
You
did.
said festival with it.
Festival in Mielada, and
Yes.
Anna Dia had a 5-day pop.
Oh, that was
do,
the
didn't
wine,
it?
the
That
big
was really
wine
good.
festival with
It's
gigs.
amazing.
I think the Water Boys played there this year at the Anadia Wine
Really?
Festival. Yeah, people went to see the Water Boys. Craft and Antiques Fair in Vargos as well. All these names, thank you. There you go. Agada, Ajit Agada is happening. That's
Do
a
you know what?
great town
Agada
to
was
visit, isn't it?
right in the middle of where we should be living.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Convivial lunch. That sounds nice, doesn't it? With some black beans there. Is that right? Yes,
Yes,
feijoada.
looks like.
And a bit of late out on that. That's my birthday on Sunday. Convivial lunch with entertainment in
Is that where you want to go?
well, there would be many worse places to go. A bit like Tao and some feijoada there. That looks great. Mega class of Zumba. Randy loves to get a Zumba event in, doesn't he? And I think he likes to go
Yeah.
along and watch as
Maybe
well.
does
You're
it.
rumbled by Randy. What about Boom Boom Brazil? I'm not seeing enough of that.
Oh,
the
yeah.
Boom Boom Brazil classes. Expo Bairrada at the Innovation Center in Vila Verde, Oliveira de Bairro as well from the 10th to the 14th of June. Just a couple more before we play some music and wish you a happy weekend. Great regatta of the Moliceiros of Aveiro. That's the they've got the with sails. Normally
That
you
looks
see them on the
beautiful, isn't
canals,
it?
don't you?
Yeah.
But there they are, a grand regatta there. The Moliceiros boats with sail. That's excellent. And finally, that's the Vista Alegre one, which Andy sent in earlier. That's well worth going to. That's that's really old company of Portugal. Is that 18 or 1924? Anyway, ancient either way, and a great attraction there, up there just on the outskirts of Aveiro. I think you've still got half an hour to go, haven't you, before we get into Aveiro proper. That's more like Ilhavo, I believe. Another great name, right? Ilhavo. Right. Anything you wish to say, and anything you do say, well, maybe no. Any concluding thoughts for our friends this morning, Mrs. M? Thank you for being here. And clearly, you're not AI. You are.
I'm definitely
Given
not
all the
AI.
things you've said, you are clearly real.
Do you know what? If I was AI, I think I'd have done my hair a bit better. It's looking a bit fuzzy. This light.
So, are you saying if you're AI, it would just be completely perfect? That's where
Yeah.
AI is going wrong, isn't it? It's not putting in any sort of human error.
Apart from when it does like somebody's hand wrong or something,
Like those royal pictures. Anyway, let's not go there. Okay, it's nice when you are on. None taken.
Thank you, Gemini.
None taken. Thank you, Carla Louisa. Well, thank you, Squire, for being here this morning. Yes, any final words? You've got a new set of forecasts, haven't you, on your YouTube channel, Feel Good Astrology?
Oh yeah, my channel's going really well. And if you do want to learn some astrology or get some forecasts, I've got a 3-month one up there. I've got this month, and it's the new moon today as well. So the new moon forecast is there as well. So
if there are two things I like first thing in the morning, it's a primal movement and a new moon. Don't you love that?
Yes.
All right, there you go. We're going to dance our way into the weekend.
Thank you
now.
so much for welcoming me back, everyone.
It's not too bad, is it? See, told you it wouldn't be. Charles Atlas' real name was Skinny Sticks.
Really?
Yep, it's true.
No,
he saw it. No, he saw it on Facebook.
Oh, that must make it true.
Hey, you know what? We haven't done his mindful memery this morning.
Who?
James's. We'll do those
really?
before we hear the music. Yeah, definitely, because they were crackers this morning.
Do you still do dad jokes?
No, well, we kind of do. We got a mindful dad joke from James here. I tried to be normal once. It's the worst 2 minutes of my life. Don't do that. And mindful dad joke. My dad told me his password is Mickey, Minnie, Goofy, Donald, Pluto, Huey, Louis, Dewey, and Dublin, because he was told his password had to contain 8 characters and at least 1 capital. Very good.
Very clever.
And your episode 4 of An Old Guy, the old guy in Europe, is playing at a screen.
Oh, well done.
Now.
How's that going?
Excellent. Antonio F like that there. I think it's going very well.
Good.
For James. Have a lovely weekend. Bon fin de semana. Put the sex in sexta-feira, everybody, and enjoy a bit of a boogie. Now, this is from our mate Clive in the Algarve. Him and his mates, it's Mackenzie and Gardner. We've heard it before. This is a reworking, especially for the summer, and you could say for the times that we find ourselves in. We can make it better. Take care, and
Hiya. This is you, Owen. I know you love this, Owen. Rewind. More than that. Up and down. Yeah.